gearing up for what is said to be an exciting weekend. Chelsea lost. They will want to bounce back in the next game they play, and they have a fixture against Brighton. We are here to preview all the matches that will be taking place across the top 5 European leagues. The Premier League will take center stage, but of course, we'll spare a thought for what will happen in the other leagues. Majorly, we'll talk about the La Liga. Barcelona, Real Madrid, they are in the thick of affairs. Is this finally the weekend that Barca closes the gap that Madrid has established at the top of a La Liga table? My name is Michael Asare, Boadu, and this is the Four Post Podcast, and we are here to have a discussion on the matches, big matches for the weekend. On my left is Dr. Kiki Monte. To my extreme right is Michael Akomeah, and then just beside me, it is the tactical Fiifi Manfred. These are the gentlemen that will be doing justice to all the issues that we'll be discussing. But let me also entreat you to subscribe to the channel, and then you share the link, and then you comment on the content as well. Guys, you're welcome. Welcome,
Charlie.
Adi! So what's the meaning of Ahoya? Ahoya.
As if Fiifi now heard a form of cadet.
Police,
Bama bet you can drink away or no.
Ahoya.
Mr. Manfred Fufu, I will be whooped. Let me see. I know it's as I will fit your mama promise. As I will fit your.
Okay, so guys, everyone will do this. Let me do this exercise. You tell me your game of the weekend, the game you are looking forward to.
1 or 2.
Just one.
Hey.
One game you are looking forward to this weekend.
Okay.
Manchester United, Brentford.
Akomeah.
Chelsea, Brighton.
Hey. Just tell me yours, please.
Manchester United, Brentford. They'll go back to the normal place.
All right, so let's start on that note. Can United finally win consecutive matches in the Premier League under Amorim? Can they do that? Has it happened before? Have they won consecutive matches under him, back-to-back games in the Premier League?
No.
Really?
It's such a
That's a more
obviously that okay, so clearly it means no, but at the start line, that a Manchester United coach has not won back-to-back Premier League games. It's strange, it's weird. Can he finally do that? Brentford away.
These records from the top coach is kind of alarming. But yes, let sleeping dogs lie.
Okay.
But with your question you asked, I think it has to, because you playing Chelsea with the way you played already. With Man City when you met Man City, yeah, and against Chelsea you defied all odds, and you did the normal thing we usually do against Chelsea. But I believe 11:30 match on Saturday against Brentford will be a tough game away. I always say in the Premier League there's no easy game. First, panel because so you use the name Manchester United. No why they play Brentford. United go win. Chelsea they play as a Brighton. Chelsea go win. Right now, I always say that these players that are playing for these lower sides are the ones when you get to the transfer season, we usually go to these places and get their players. An example, like I said, was the Baleba situation. Okay. Baleba is playing Brighton. Yeah. But Ankara United in Yayope, if Ankomo Tomai, I'm sure right now he will be playing in Manchester United. So right now the difference is just the name, Manchester United and Brentford. But the players ain't far apart when it comes to their abilities or the technicalities in them. But I think against Brentford, Matheus Cunha is back. Last game against Chelsea, he came to play some few minutes. And we know the form of Brian Mbumo. And
he will be playing his former side.
Yes. And he will want to do something. And already Benjamin Ohenesesko hasn't been able to score. Or Hennesesco. International Esesco hasn't not been able to score. So I'm thinking this is the time he will be on the score sheet. So with Matheus Cunha coming back and trying to prove that okay, we have something to prove to our fans, and with the form of Brian Mbumo and Bruno Fernandes trying to lead, obviously, with Benjamin Sesko deciding that okay, this is the time I have to start scoring because the pressure is mounting. I think Brentford wouldn't be, even though it would be a big task, but I think Ruben Amorim will get his first EPL back-to-back win. Already Brentford are not really in good, top form. They lost their match against Fulham.
Yeah, they were beaten 3-1 on the road.
Yes, and I think in the Premier League, they've won only one game, yeah?
In the Premier League, they've won,
One.
They've won a game. So at home, they beat Aston Villa by a goal to 0, and then they drew 2-2 against Chelsea. So they are unbeaten at home for Brentford. Okay. On the road, maybe it gets a bit tricky for them because they haven't really fared well in terms of away games. Their last away trip was that defeat to Fulham, which they lost 3-1, and then they were also beaten 2-1 by Sunderland. Then, yeah, basically it's that.
I think we have to try because in the Premier League there's a stat that perfectly says that Manchester United has literally played the most difficult first 5 games.
Okay.
But they have created more chances.
Yeah.
I mean, more shots.
In those fixtures.
Yes, more shot on target and all that. So I believe this is the time we have to start being clinical. Like what Harry Maguire said, we have been doing the right things. But if you're not clinical,
it's about burying the chances.
Yes. So I'm only hoping with the 5-3-2 Brentford coach usually plays doesn't really stack us back in terms of our ability because Obi Bessie, you be a pronoun went to me and na time I had to pronoun. So we met him that open but we couldn't bury. So I'm hoping if indeed we meet a team like Brentford with their structure and the way of play, very defensive side, if we can actually do the do, but I'm hoping Bruno Fernandes, Matheus Cunha, Mason Mount is back. We know that he's in top form, and Sesko really wanting to score. I think he will get his back-to-back game.
That leads me to how the team should set up. Akomeah, definitely United will do this without Casemiro.
Yes.
He got a red card in the game against Chelsea. So where would you love Amorim to continue from as regards his selection, his structure, and even the approach to the game?
I think he continues with Ugarte as a defensive midfielder. He has actually made it clear that it's Ugarte for Casemiro, it's Menu for Bruno Fernandes.
Okay.
So I don't think this is going to be a game we are going to see Menu and Bruno Fernandes start as the double pivot. And I think that is the only change we are going to see. Normally to his centre backs, he usually changes their positions. Normally Yoro will start, another player will come in. Last weekend it was Matthias De Ligt, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw. This weekend they can literally be Yoro,
Matthias De Ligt because of the height of Brentford.
Matthias De Ligt and maybe Mazraoui or somehow Luke Shaw again. I think it's a big problem for him. For key positions within a team, you should not be doing a lot of changes. Okay. I think Amorim should be very careful in that area. I really don't like him for that particular kind of thing that he does, especially at the centre back. No, you don't rotate it like that. Just be fixed. Know what you want. There's time for rotation. Maybe another game you can do a full rotation. But if you are using 3 set players, try and continue using them to establish rapport, to establish consistency and something beneficial out of it. I think Man United has been lucky with 12:30 games in the last few games. Out of the last 9 12:30 early kickoff games, they've won 7. They've won 7, which is quite encouraging. But they are not games that usually produce goals. Normally 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 2-1. And the ones that have even ended in a draw is goalless.
Okay.
So that is how it actually plays out when it comes to Manchester United playing early kickoff games. Against Brentford, 5 wins for Manchester United, 2 draws, 2 losses in the last 9 games between Manchester United and them.
And those 2 losses have come in your last trip to Brentford.
And we knew how that game went about after Manchester United lost by 4 goals to 3.
Yeah.
Leandro Garnacho's last goal for Manchester United against Brentford. Quite difficult task, early kickoff. Amorim winning back-to-back games. At least a win against Chelsea should be bringing a lot of confidence. If they lose again, another pressure on Amorim. If they lose again, a lot of questions for Amorim, which personally I actually believe that if he doesn't win this game, then it clearly shows Amorim is not a man for the job. He can't win back-to-back games.
Now, the issue is United are winless in their last 7 away games. They are without a win. Last 7 away games. It means something has got to give to ensure they end this jinx or this poor streak. Do you see it in them, judging by how they played against Chelsea in that game at Old Trafford? Do you see it in them to go all the way to Brentford, then kind of stoke the fire, set the tempo, and then get that win that they need?
So, you see, the thing is that Chelsea played against Manchester United, and it was two things. Psychologically, United had a natural boost for that game. The dopamine rush to play against Chelsea is different from that dopamine rush that you play against Brentford. Now, statistically, it was always going to be easy for Manchester United to play against a big team than it is to play against a team that allows them to play the ball. That is Manchester United's problem. Last season, Manchester United went away to the Etihad and then beat Manchester City. Beating Chelsea, beating Manchester City is not United's problem. United's problem has always been playing against the middle table, low table teams and getting results against them.
Okay.
And that's the big problem. Now, there are two things that I think is going to be a test for the weekend. Can Manchester United get out of that dopamine rush? Because you see, Chelsea has always been United has been Chelsea's nemesis, especially at the Old Trafford. So when they come there, they can play them and they'll score. But then how do you psych yourself and let yourself know that on the result, back of the results that we got last time out against Chelsea, we need to build. And again, that system will be tested. That system is easy to play when you are not having loads of the ball, when you have to go and chase with the ball. Now you are playing against a Brentford side that is playing without the ball most of the times. That gives you the ball. That wants to hit you on the counter. So how do you marry it? I think that it's going to be a big test for Ruben Amorim. One, from the psychological point of view. Two, from also even a tactical point of view. For him to know if true, because against Chelsea, he could say, okay, fine, I won against Chelsea. I won against a big team. So you need to cut me some slack. But against Brentford, you need to do more.
In doing more, who are the players who will stand out? For me, for the sensational aspect or the sentimental aspect, Brian Mbeumo is coming home. The way manner he had to force his leave from the club definitely will set the tempo or the atmosphere differently towards him. There's a venue where he's played, excelled, especially for last season. He comes in here now not as one of us, but as a foe or an enemy, quote unquote. How will he have to handle this pressure to ensure he delivers? Because we've seen players face their former sides, especially away. They let loose. They can't control these emotions, and then it affects them on the field. How should he do it?
Mike, I don't think Mbeumo left on a bad note as compared to a player like Wisa.
Okay.
They took their money, they got what they wanted, and I think everyone was happy.
Okay.
And they even did a video for him, before he left. So I think for Mbeumo, he is cool with them.
Okay.
But the other part of it is they know him. They know how to defend against him. They know how he plays. That is where I actually think he would need to outperform every single metric that brought him to Manchester United against Brentford. Again, difficult grounds, high intensity, early kickoff. I remember a certain 4-0 against Manchester United. He was the leader of the delegation under Eric Ten Hag. Timesha said, game we say dear. Like, Mbeumo will make his presence felt. I know they'll give him a warm reception, not necessarily like Omuku Huruno.
Okay.
Like, they'll be happy to see him.
Okay.
But I expect him to also, because every eyes is going to be on him. Because if he fails to perform, definitely there will be questions raised. Now Brentford these are things that will be said. Open game, difficult task, early kickoff. Should we go with a prediction?
Yeah, you can give your prediction to that.
Very difficult game for Manchester United.
You've said that already.
I think a draw.
A draw.
Yeah.
Kiki.
See, there's a time I think Ruben Amorim should show us that he has more. Of late, you're looking at the United team, and the reason why they brought in Benjamin Sesko, I'm not seeing it properly.
Okay.
He's a 6'5". He's very tall, and he's a ball-playing striker. So if indeed you are depending on Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo to do the ball playing, at least utilize his area abilities.
Okay.
But for the past games, they have not been crossing a lot to Sesko. It's all about the cutting in and inverting and shooting. But we are meeting a side that obviously will defend and hit us on the counter. So this is the time Mbeumo will get a chance, because at the end of the day, if the team is defending, Mbeumo will try to stretch the team and be putting more crosses because he likes to cross. This is the time we have to see if indeed Amorim will make sure they stamp their feet on the crossing, because it will be a difference maker. And the person that I believe will change the whole thing is Harry Maguire.
Okay.
Because with that one, we are pinning Brentford into their post, and the CCB will obviously be Harry Maguire standing in as a defensive midfielder, pushing Ugarte and Bruno Fernandes forward. So it means that he will be doing more of the crossing, the diagonal passes to Mbeumo and Dogu. Patrick Dogu will be doing more of the crosses. I don't think Cunha will be doing more of Cunha will be more of the carrying the ball and trying to help with the small spaces. But I believe this is a game that we have to stick to Amad Diallo and Brian Mbeumo to do more of the crosses, with Patrick Dogu from the other side to help with Benjamin Sesko to score. Difficult game like we already established, but I think a slim win for Manchester United.
All right, so we jump to Chelsea's, because after Manchester United, they are the early kickoff for Saturday. Then for the 2 p.m. games, two interesting fixtures actually. There is Chelsea versus Brighton, and then there is a Liverpool Crystal Palace encounter. But let's talk Chelsea. They are coming into this game on the back of, should I say, a disappointing defeat to Manchester United at Old Trafford. There definitely needs to be a response. I know some of you guys will say, oh, they won the EFL Cup, but this is the Premier League. And Chelsea will need to catch up in terms of the establishment of points between themselves and the top. So, what must happen? What must change from the game against Man U?
I mean, if you look at the last 3 games that Chelsea has played, it explains and paints the best picture of why football's ultimate currency is winning games.
Okay.
Because before the Brentford, Bayern, and then Manchester United games, Chelsea were literally cruising. They had started the season unbeaten.
Yeah.
And their new boy, Joao Pedro, was literally taking the league by storm. We had come in and we had said that Chelsea was scoring the most goals from set plays, more than anybody in the English Premier League, which is huge, right? So it was much of a blow to see that Manchester United playing against Chelsea and they getting the results. And even before that, the one against Bayern Munich. But something is clear. Chelsea would have to find results and find it quicker. Because I'm sure you've heard news around where people are saying that Enzo Maresca, some of the Chelsea fans are saying, Chelsea players are saying that he's arrogant, all of these news that are unconfirmed may not be true, but then what is fueling that is because results have not come in the last few days.
Exactly.
So if you don't get results, these things come. And the last thing that Enzo Maresca wants in his camp is to get some of these noises around, because he did an excellent job in shutting the naysayers up last season, qualifying to the top 4, to the extent that we finished the season with an F-word post-match press conference against Nottingham Forest, where he told everybody, you said we couldn't come here and beat them. We did beat them. And then we are saying F off to you. So what is Enzo Maresca going to do? But also, there are some worries, right? There's still the absence of Levi Cole. Cole Palmer is still injured. So it fits into the narrative. Last season, Brighton beat Chelsea in their home. Although Chelsea beat them by 4-1 at Stamford Bridge, it was difficult. I think also in one of those cup games, Brighton didn't beat Chelsea.
Yeah, they beat Chelsea.
So Chelsea in 3 games lost twice to Fabian Hezela.
Yeah.
And Enzo Maresca knows that he needs to change a lot. I think that tactically, a lot of the managers that have played against Chelsea have found out how Enzo Maresca plays. The central conjunction and overloads of Maresca using the +1 with an inverted fullback is being found out. And it started with that Crystal Palace game, where in that game, you had Crystal Palace overloading the center of the pitch with an excellent press. And you know, Crystal Palace did it a little bit different from what other teams have done. They made it in a 5-3-2 in the middle of the park, pressing Chelsea's extra midfielder in the middle And what they did was their outside centre backs is to be aggressive and step up to the players in the half spaces. So you want to bypass Moises Caicedo and Elias in the middle and find Cole Palmer and Enzo Fernandez in the half space. Then you had Tyreek Mitchell, and Max Lecroix being aggressive and stepping up to them. So it was difficult. And I think from then, teams have found the templates to try and play against Chelsea. West Ham United tried in the second half. In the first half, it wasn't good enough. Chelsea got a win against them. They went away from home. They played at home against Fulham in the first half. Fulham used that template. Of course, Chelsea escaped by the skin of their teeth by winning that game by 2-0 and used set pieces as well. Then, of course, in the Bayern game, it was clear that Bayern were pressing Chelsea with an extra man in the middle, and they rotated a lot when they had the ball, whilst Manchester United did same in the first 20 minutes before even the red card. So it's clear. I've also seen that in all of these games, especially second half against Fulham, second half against Brentford, Enzo Maresca changed the system to sort of let people know that he can change. So he started more like a 4-4-2, where it changed into a 2-2-6. So in this case, he's not overloading central areas again. He's giving you two players to press in the middle, whilst it means that you will not have enough numbers to press him in the half spaces. So those are the players, or he can go long into his wide wingers. And again, you mentioned the Lincoln game. It was the same thing. Lincoln was also very aggressive to press Chelsea in the first half. And in the second half, Chelsea switched. And you hear that after the game, Enzo Maresca did mention that the role of Jairo Hato in the second half was different from what he was doing. So it's important. Maresca has to change something. I think that in the last few games, one of the things I've seen when Chelsea were chasing the game was the role of Reece James as a wide winger, wide fullback as we used to know. So he has tried to invert him. In certain games, has been good. I understood the general idea behind he inverting Reece James, which is the fact that he just came back from an injury. I mean, he had a muscle issue. Muscle issues, when you strain it by covering loads of ground, it can recur. So that we play him centrally, prevent him from covering large grounds. But Thomas Tuchel used Reece James as a natural or orthodox fullback. Yeah. And in the game against Bayern Munich, when Chelsea were chasing the game, he became an orthodox fullback, even before he was taken off. And the game against Manchester United, when Chelsea needed creativity from wide area, Reece James was right there. So it tells me that maybe it is time for Enzo Maresca to take some more risk. And even away from risks, Reece James will create chances from there. Away from that, I think that one player that Chelsea have used that stand out in the last 3 games has been a certain Andre Santos. And if Enzo Maresca really wants to move to the next stage of his team growing, it is time for him to start taking risks with players like Andre Santos. In a game against Bayern, in the second half, when he needed some creativity, he threw in Andre Santos. You see that Cole Palmer goal that was ruled as offside? It was created by Andre. And it was a natural instinct of the boy who, when he finds himself in the half space, can get a job done.
So you think you should start pairing him with Moises Caicedo?
You see, so Andre Santos can play as a single 6 in the absence of Romeo Lavia. He can play there alone as a lone 6.
Then that will allow for Caicedo and Enzo to still
my
play,
problem
especially
is right now, Lavia is not playing. Yeah, it's been established.
Cole Palmer is injured. Cole Palmer will not start. So now you play a proper midfield 3 of Andre Santos, Moises Caicedo, and Enzo Fernandez. Then you can have Estevao come from outward. So it means that if Reece James is overlapping, Estevao can come inside.
So this time we are not playing 4-2-3-1, we are playing 4-3-3.
Exactly, proper 3 midfielders. Yes. Then Reece James can overlap. Then Estevao can come inside. Okay. Then you have 2 number 10s in Enzo on the left hand side, Estevao on the right hand side. Okay. Then if you are keeping the weight with Kukurea, you keep the weight. Because that is how Enzo Maresca is now begin to change things.
That's one thing I love about Maresca. You see, he learns and he's always ready to change. Unlike one stubborn coach I know.
Mention his name, man.
Ruben Amorim. I just don't understand. When you look at Xabi Alonso and you look at Enzo Maresca, these are 3 back coaches. They are known for that. But coach Bako Pewas also or not you say well lie. Interlie. Musimilai. Lie. And I feel na so then here because of ABA. Don't you guys think so? So like media Obia cancer men fan that is how I feel.
So he said
as a person or yeah the time I will be a giant.
But he said that so players no will stop believing in him.
Wow,
I say, oh yeah, just say onimnia oye. Muna mo can say onyanti no.
Unko from Maresca ne Xabi Alonso. Omo yetere back coach.
Yeah.
But to the be you have to find ways and means to communicate to your players and know how to do it. Yeah. Xabi Alonso, Maresca, they are doing the materials or.
Oh, but materials execution is a big problem.
I don't want us to get into the Amorim realms, but the issue is, I even think for that his interview, maybe he was misunderstood. He never said he wouldn't change. He said they need to evolve, and he will change.
Yes.
But the moment he tells his players that the principles of his play and everything has to be changed, he loses respect. And I understand. No, I understand him for that. If you have to play in an Amorim 4-back, this is how you should play. If you have to play in the 3-back, you have to play the same way. Formation should not limit you to how the coach expects you to play. That is my issue. So I think maybe we are not being fair to him. But still on the Chelsea bet. So Fee has spoken extensively about why there needs to be changes regarding the selection, the roles assigned players on the field by Enzo Maresca. But conspicuously missing from Chelsea's squad is Cole Palmer. And he's actually been the go-to guy for them in games of this nature, especially at Stamford Bridge. I nearly named him the Stamford Bridge Mafia. If it is a game there, you trust Cole Palmer to score.
To deliver.
How do they cope without him? Because it looks like Palmer has not had the best starts in the campaign. So how do Chelsea cope without him?
Especially meeting Brighton's midfield. Already Baleba we have established that Baleba is not in good form, probably because of the links to Manchester United. That didn't happen. Do you get it? And even the coach, the Haslas, even made mention of that.
So the replacement for Baleba, Diego Gomez, scored 4 in the EFL Cup for Brighton.
But yes, though, Baleba will still play.
Yeah, definitely he will start.
But probably this is the match. Maybe we will see the resurrection of Baleba.
Okay, so for contest, I asked about Cole Palmer. This is the start. Chelsea with and without Cole Palmer. And I believe those who are watching will also get this. 67 games with Cole Palmer, and their win percentage is 52.2%. 11 games without Cole Palmer, and their win percentage drops to 36.4%. Goals per game with Cole Palmer in the 67 is 2.0. Without Cole Palmer, it shrinks to 1.3. Expected goals per game, 1.89 with Cole Palmer. Without Cole Palmer is 1.80. Still, there is a drop. Points per game is 1.8 with Cole Palmer in 64 matches and 1.4 without Cole Palmer in 11 matches.
Akomeah,
I think Fiifi spoke about how teams are trying to find out Enzo Maresca's status, especially when he decides to go with a defensive midfielder dropping deep to pick up the balls from the 3 centre-backs in possession. And I think Cole Palmer was the pass code in that particular formation, because definitely if you give Cole Palmer a pass from the middle of the park in that right half space, you are dead. I always say it. Don't allow Cole Palmer to have the space in that particular area. And don't even allow him on the half 10, because when he does that, the next one is about creating space for himself to shoot and score or giving a decisive pass. Chelsea missing him is going to be a big stuff going into a crucial game against Brighton and Hove Albion that I actually believe they'll play with much more intensity. They'll play with much more purpose. Big games like this, they normally want to prove something, especially looking at Hasler. And I think he has been under pressure for quite some time, because the Brighton and Hove Albion fans believe he has a good squad to be performing more than we see him do with this team. So this is a game that will be up for the task for Enzo Maresca to deliver at the end of the day. But Chelsea has a very good record against Brighton and Hove Albion at home. And this is a game that usually produces a lot of goals. João Pedro will be playing against his team again. That high line, that weakness from their centre-backs. The other time against Tottenham Hotspur, Tottenham dictated every single part of that game. Even after taking a 2-goal lead, they needed to surrender with the kind of pressure that it came with. But I think Chelsea has a better chance of winning this game at home. Brighton, they don't really look extremely convincing, like the old Brighton that we know.
So you go for a Chelsea win?
Like a slim win, something like 3-2, 2-1 in favor of Chelsea.
Hey.
I think Chelsea will get back to winning ways. I'm expecting to see Maresca make a lot of change, and then we'll see how it goes. I think that he has to win.
Oh, Chelsea will surely win that game. It's a 2-3-1 win for Chelsea.
Okay. But one area I also expect Chelsea to take advantage would have to be set pieces. Because Chelsea are the best team in terms of utilizing set pieces in the Premier League. They've had the most set piece goals. Per ranking for this season, Chelsea are ranked first.
Ahead of us now.
Yeah, for set piece goals. They've scored 6 goals from set pieces. And judging by Brighton and how they are not so good in terms of defending set pieces, maybe Chelsea will need to capitalize on this and see the way forward. It would all have to boil down to the execution. Reece James, the others, they are good at that. Cole Palmer was one of those who took set pieces for Chelsea. So I expect them to also get something from there. So I kind of side with you guys. A win for Chelsea. I don't think it should be ruled out. If the game ends, let's say probably around 4 p.m., and Chelsea hasn't won, trust me, I'll be very shocked. I'll be very shocked. Trust me. But there is Liverpool, Crystal Palace, 2 unbeaten sides in the Premier League so far.
Oliver Glasner, I love him.
Will he shock on a slot? Can he shock on a slot?
Is he playing at home?
He has shocked him. Who's playing at home?
It is I think it's Liverpool.
Because he has shocked him before.
Yeah.
If it's
In
Liverpool,
fact, he has shocked him. And they also have a date in the EFL Cup round 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will play again in the EFL Cup. So this is Crystal Palace rather who are playing at home at the Selhurst Park.
It's a Crystal Palace double chance for me.
the red card. The red card, Ekitike.
But it means that Ishak is going to play.
Fine.
So how ready is he then?
But how ready
Oh,
is he?
Ishak is ready.
Playing
Charlie, Ishak is
no,
ready.
Oliver
Me, the
Glasner.
reason why, for me, it's not because of the red card. It's because of Oliver Glasner, like I say.
Okay.
Because Oliver Glasner is solid.
My problem is Ekitike is in top form, and if Liverpool is to win any game,
He has to be in there.
he has to be in there. And right now, if the red card is actually affecting him, we are throwing in Isak. I would have preferred Isak playing at home against Sunderland. But going away,
Okay, to start his Premier League debut.
against Oliver Glasner's Crystal Palace.
No, but he knows them. It's a ground or a venue he's visited previously.
Yes, but how ready are you? That you know them with Newcastle when you were in top form. Jolinton, Bruno Grimares, everybody is around you. You are executing.
But
Right
here
now-
you are with Salah.
Yes.
You are with these creme de la creme of Liverpool players. Let me use the word creme de la
And
creme.
has he blended well with the creme of the la creme of these players? Have he done
I
that?
think by now he should settle in. He's had like 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks training.
The Liverpool and Crystal Palace game, Mike, I don't know how it will happen. I don't know what is going to happen
Like
again.
him, the only go.
Liverpool will lose their first game. I actually believe, let me use personally, I believe the first game Liverpool is going to lose is going to be against Chelsea. They'll find a way to beat Crystal Palace. Trust you me.
They'll find a way to beat.
But Chelsea will beat them.
But Chelsea will beat Liverpool.
Away from home.
Away from home.
Now, this is what I see with Ekitike's red card. You see, it limits the options available for slot. And I think
Makes it easy for
exactly
Glasner
for,
to plan.
for Palace to plan around the Liverpool team. But then again, Anna Slot will have to come in here. His dynamism will need to come to play.
And he has shown that he is.
Exactly. Because then it means don't start all your attackers. Find a way to make it work. For someone like Vets, maybe start him off the bench.
Yes.
He tried with Zobozlai as the number 10.
Yeah.
You play
McAllister
McAllister
and
and then Gravenberch in the middle. So you have an extra option on the bench if the attack is not clicking. But if you start all of them, let's say Vets at number 10, Gakpo as a left wing attacker, Salah on the right wing, then you have Isak ahead of them. It kind of limits the options you have in terms of affecting the game with personnel changes from the bench.
But the truth
And that
is-
becomes an issue for me.
But the truth is, with Liverpool against Crystal Palace right now, if you decide to play, you keep Flying Vets on the bench and play Soboslai.
Yeah.
With the start of Liverpool matches, usually you see Soboslai at the right back. And he was efficient there because of his energy.
Yeah.
Right now, you are meeting Yeremi Pino from
VRL.
Villarreal. Strong, fast. Would you want to play Frimpong? That usually goes up there.
Okay,
And-
so
and-
attacks and then leaves. You see, again, it boils down to the selection of someone like Zoboslai, as you rightly mentioned. He has come to understand how a slot team operates, and he knows exactly what the coach expects of him. That is how come Slot can trust to use him as a makeshift right back and it'll still work. I don't know if you get me.
So
Based on a certain adjustment can be made regarding player position. And it is not surprising to see if Frimpong is surging forward, Ibrahim Konate slotting to the right back position, Gravenberch dropping back to add to the central defenders just to maintain that shape. And then allowing Szoboszlai and McAllister to operate in the middle.
They have to be quick with that.
Again, it boils down to the dynamism of Arne Slot. But let's not take credit from Palace.
I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that Oliver Glasner may do or try to do is to make the game too physical. He should be able to meet Liverpool, but then have a plan to exploit these places that Kiki speaks about.
Okay.
With Ismail Sarr and the likes. I think that there are opportunities for them and they can win that game.
So there's a probable lineup for Liverpool. So there you have it. Alisson Becker. In this lineup, they started Szoboszlai as a right back. Then Milos Kerkez as a left back. Van Dijk and Konate. Then in the middle, McAllister, Gravenberch. In advanced midfield, there is Florian Wirtz. On the flanks, there is Salah. And then Gakpo on the right and left, respectively. And then Alexander Isak leads the line. Are we going to see one team drop their unbeaten status between the two?
This is the game, after the other lineup, I think this is the game Liverpool will have to start Szoboszlai as number 10 over Florian Wirtz.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying that is, if Jeremy Frimpong is fit, this is a game that Gravenberch could literally sit in and become the third centre back. And Liverpool can go man-to-man marking to the three-back system of Oliver Glasner.
Okay.
Then a double pivot where Szoboszlai will drop.
But the thing is that Liverpool have loads of the ball.
Yes, I know. But definitely, Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner, they will love to play. Certain moments of the game, you love your team to have 1v1 against them, especially when they go with the three-back system. So you have Szoboszlai and McAllister sitting as the double pivot. Then your front three, Alexander Isak, Mohamed Salah, and Cody Gakpo could be doing a lot of things. Akomeah. Because I believe that if Liverpool should go man-to-man, Fiifi, Isak, Salah, Gakpo, they have the quality to even create chances for themselves.
The problem is, Glasner
and Jeremy Frimpong can literally also be a problem for Crystal Palace.
The lineup of Crystal Palace.
If he should play as a wing back in that particular game, Jeremy Frimpong can be a trouble.
So the probable lineup for Palace, we have Richards, Lacroix, and then Gueye as the starting central defenders. Then Munoz will be the right wing. And then Mitchell will be the left wing back. Then in the middle, Adam Wharton and then Hughes will play.
Adam Wharton and Hughes is the reason why I expect Szoboszlai and McAllister to be the double pivot.
So
between the centre backs.
Yeremy Pino is out of this game. He has an injury, so he won't be part of his game. Then Sheikh Doucouré, who's also one of their stalwart midfielders, is out. He won't be available for them.
Very stubborn, but he's not available.
So by way of options, that is what is available.
That's what's going to happen.
Crystal Palace.
Mike, I'm not the one to teach Ancelot tactics. He always finds a way. Fiifi. He always finds a way, especially in difficult games like this. He's one of the best in-game managers I've ever seen in the Premier League in recent years. Like, just as we are playing the game, somebody should just twerk. It just doesn't over-complicate things. Just the simple things. Takes this one out, put this one here, and it just clicks. Pa!
Let's see what happens. Well, we have other games that will be coming up in the Premier League. Interesting ones. And, guys, Arsenal have just announced that Saliba will extend his deal with them for 5 years. His contract was set to expire in 2027. He stretched it. So it means for the next 5 years, Saliba will be an Arsenal player.
It doesn't mean he will stay.
But it will be difficult to buy from Arsenal.
It doesn't mean he will stay.
Because right now, at first, Florentino Perez was used to... He is the definition of what we call the Galacticos, buying the big players. Right now, they've gone to the way of we wait for you to become free, then we get you.
Okay.
Right now, hardly do you see Real Madrid forking out £100 million, £150 million for a player. And then we'll call Saliba. There's a high probability, if over 5 years, there's a high probability to see a ball around £100 million. Madrid won't do that.
Now, these players are also being smart. Doctor, now they will extend their contract for 5 years. Then they will tell you maybe after 2 years, this my release clause needs to be activated.
Unless there's a release clause.
You see, they are certain
Details have
maybe
not really come out yet.
That is why I'm trying to say that it's not assured that Saliba is going to stay in Arsenal for like 5 years.
But at least for the short term, they have the confidence that he's going
Oh, they want there for sure.
Yeah, and that's for me. That's the most important thing because Madrid are lacking. If there is an easy opening in that contract, Madrid can easily come and take
the Madrid
so
part. The Madrid part. You continue. The Madrid part. Let me set a record straight.
What Arsenal would want is that at the end of the day, they will have bargaining control of that contract. So even if Madrid is coming, they will get good money.
Let me tell Madrid fans this thing. You see, mo pesa de no. Obi extending the contract. Anu ma be gina say the pani wasting the career. Madrid for munyai. O wasting the career say. Mun kwa na mo play e wo wi ase.
But that one is not.
I know it bore me.
But they have.
See, it bore me.
But they provide quality for the players. When the players
it bore me.
They win things. So
they win things, but no chance will be send the career. And I said Saliba bet me the AJ. Oh, no, so bet me the Arsenal League.
I bet me the Arsenal League.
And I will say career. Hey, Masa.
No, but in the grand scheme of things, what does this mean for a club like Arsenal to keep one of their best players? Because I can just make a solid case and tell you, Saliba, in my opinion, is your top 3 centre back across Europe.
Yeah.
Yes. It
Top
means
3
only
centre
one
back
word,
across
Mike,
Europe.
ambition. I think Arsenal are showing us that they are ambitious.
And
That is the only word I can use for them.
Any football administrator, he will tell you one of the most difficult things to do is to keep your key players.
Okay.
Because our time now we keep us. Our time we are break. Why right? You see, they'll be asking for more that you can give.
Okay.
Or who's a hot cake people want to poach. And if you're able to keep that person with the already inclusion of some good players you've added, it means that Asare Akomeah can ambition. The only problem is after winning it, Ateta no, Bitman making sure said the ambition that success. Because this is the time watching Arsenal for 7 years. The club.
But you think if he wasn't so convinced about Arsenal's project and how ambitious it is, would he stretch his stay for?
I think it's all about Arsenal rather than Mikel Arteta, Mike.
Yeah,
you see, it is not an Arteta thing here. But you think if he
But
doesn't
the money
believe,
is good. He's actually getting £300,000 a week. So forget about he wanting
no,
to
aside
stay.
the
but
money,
he wants to stay because he could have gotten that money from Madrid.
Yes,
he
but
can get
you
that
see-
money from
you
elsewhere.
See, there are players that don't want to give them a Bonia vibe.
Yeah.
Saliba might be part of those people.
Yeah.
Tell me a Bonia vibe. They don't want.
No, but he will not care. He's a French boy. He's not an Arsenal boy through and through. If Madrid comes today, Kiki, all of us will understand. We know that today, Kunate wants to go to Madrid. What do you mean, Yaneshi?
And no been a tour Trent and Alexander.
But no, in Liverpool need through and through.
Trent was a local boy.
United, they are man from
In the case of Saliba, he has, let's say, his umbilical cord has never been tied to Arsenal. It's a club that bought him. Yep, just that. No ties.
That guy is good.
Yeah, Diakabi. Mokhtar.
What's the name? No. Christian Mosquera.
Mosquera, sorry.
That guy, top guy.
All right, so Arsenal have a trip to the St. James Park where they play against Newcastle.
St. James.
Yeah, that's their game for the weekend.
Double chance Newcastle.
Because Arsenal always struggle at Newcastle.
Go Newcastle. Go their game. Just that. Just go.
There's this lack of clinical edge around this Newcastle United team. I mean, yeah, they set the tempo in their home games. They pile a lot of pressure on you, but you can't actually trust them to bury the chances when they do come. So that's why I am quite positive that Arteta can go there and do something.
Well, Arteta can go there and win, but for the efficacy, you would want to play safe and go. But if you want to go for bold predictions, I'll still go for Arteta win.
Arteta win. Because my fear is that maybe Arsenal have been denied options of using players like Madueke, Martin Odegaard because of injury. But Saka is back. You have Martinelli. He's available. Trossard. They all got in on the scoring act at a point in time. So they still have the options.
But Mike, once Arsenal are going away to Newcastle,
difficult game. The atmosphere.
Area and all that.
And they'll make it like the only thing is that
Mike, they need a win.
Arsenal have gotten to the point where they can play that kind of football like Newcastle. Right? Arsenal, and that's why when people criticize Arsenal so much, I roll my eyes. Because there's real progress though.
Definitely.
Years ago, if Arsenal were going to Newcastle, it was an automatic loss.
They've lost.
But I won't be surprised in as much as the St. James Park is difficult. Arsenal gets a win from there. Slim. But of
Mike,
course,
I still stand with Newcastle.
You stand with Newcastle.
They've gone some few games without a win, especially in the Premier League. There's a lot of pressure on Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
I think they would love to make this game one of those games that they overturn their season, their bad season.
But then again, let me ask, can Arsenal afford to drop further points? They dropped points last weekend. Liverpool have increased their tally at the top of the table. So it's now a 5-point gap. Right?
Mike,
Can they afford to drop more points?
I'm one person who actually believes that Liverpool will not run away with the league this season.
It's going to be close.
It will be close.
You think so?
They will get to a point
That's
in
if
time.
they win. Or you think they win?
I still think they have an opportunity for the league winning there. I still stand
Or you're
with.
still not choosing who
I've chosen who is going to win the
who is
league.
going to win.
Me, I think Manchester City will still win the league. That is what I actually believe in.
Actually,
Even after
Actually,
all that has happened.
Oh, yes,
they were
I
not
agree.
writing Man City off on the way.
I
The
agree.
team have
I
seen
agree.
this season.
Mike, you see, there's a reason. There's something Manchester City is doing in recent
win the
games.
league.
Fee, there's something Manchester City is doing in the last few games. At first, I think last season, you were quite confident that City will lose a certain game. This time around, City are trying to behave like even in their worst moment, they won't lose a game. They will pick a point.
And they are not sticking to a certain
That is
play.
what Guardiola is doing now. In their worst moment this season. Last season in their worst moment, I can
But winning the
confidently...
league, but
Fee,
Mike, you need more than that.
Fee,
to win
I
the
know.
league.
I can confidently tell you, but you know, Pep Guardiola only needs his team to get their mojo back in terms of understanding how consistent they need to be into getting results. If they get in that mood, Fee, they've done it before. They have experience. There's a reason why I don't doubt Pep Guardiola. They've done it before.
But I'm saying that you need more than that.
I know. And I know Pep Guardiola
are
is,
saying
and
that
I'm
this
saying
is
Pep
that
Guardiola
kind
is
of
more
games.
experienced
Yeah.
on that note to understand that they need more than that to win the league. But last season, Liverpool did not need more than what they were supposed to do to win the league. Look at their total tally in terms of points accumulation.
So it's going to go down to the wire.
I believe so. I personally believe so. Arsenal might lose games this time around. Psychologically, maybe they might feel this is not their season to win the league. But I believe...
Arsenal, for me, this is Arsenal season. If Arsenal don't win the league now, then there's no other time.
That one I agree with you. But I'm only trying
Yeah,
to
this is the
say
time.
that when Arsenal loses the game against Newcastle, just as you said that they will need to close the gap between them and Liverpool, maybe psychologically it will start eating them up. Is that part of the season again? We can't win it again. We can't even push. But you have 2 solid games to play. Just maybe against Manchester City away.
Okay.
Against Liverpool, even in your home. So just maybe Liverpool stretch the point. Now, how many points now? 5.
Yeah.
Liverpool will stretch it to 8. I've told you, Liverpool are going to lose some big games. This season is not going to be like last season.
Okay.
Against Chelsea is one of those games. Against Chelsea is one of those games.
Okay.
Against Newcastle at Anfield is one of those games.
That's where that.
I'm talking to you about some of the games I believe Liverpool will have problems with.
So did you see this from whom we
So
are
against Chelsea at Anfield.
And Liverpool will go deep in the Champions League and they will sacrifice some games for the Champions League.
saying? Whom we are saying?
Mike,
Different quanta.
TMA,
Arinta.
menka say Liverpool nye league. But Osura Kasa. Mususuma mani nye. Namu. Mumreba.
But you see, Mike, the question you asked, that it was more like yet a habit and then China when it comes to. I believe, say, the last season started. Oh, they won't go alone. Oh,
and then my mama will be back. O shall see a Bruce, yeah, and when he Bruce, your name, Teman, when he
So I think the league is so unforgiving that Ulusu points care. And you see how Liverpool have started. They are not playing good football.
But they are winning.
But with time, their Kiki and their Isaac and their Salah will far. A draw not a fan so will be also the alpha. That's our time we achieve because you lost points right now. And right now, to say the more can we have good teams. Chelsea will have a good squad. Arsenal cried they have to win the league. City are doing. There's one thing Pep Guardiola said. Or say, right now, I don't want tactics. I just want the spirit of my team back.
That is where I'm trying to draw the inspiration from. That Pep
It's
Guardiola.
no
Phil, you wrote something on Twitter today, and I loved it.
The spirit in Yaba say king. Guardiola will be Guardiola.
Okay.
Phil, what did you say about Pep today?
Because those that watch Pep's...
What did you say about Pep today on Twitter?
I
On X?
always tell fans to listen to pre-match press conference. Managers see a lot of things. If you listen to Pep's pre-match press conference, it was clear that he is changing a lot of things. That before, in the seasons where he won the league, people said he was boring. So he stopped. He's moving away from being boring. And Pep said everything in there. And he explained why, maybe the last time we were asking why he brought on Gianluigi Donnarumma. Now, you can see that it was clear in that pre-match press conference. Why? Not because maybe Donnarumma is an excellent shotstopper, but the personality. Even when the week where Duna came, they asked him, he said that, oh, he's tall. Just the personality, he's imposing, and that's all. So sometimes Pep is going back to the basics. My worry is that enough to win the league? Well, especially when I think Arsenal are near perfect. And see, it takes me back to last week. I can understand when people say you score a goal, you take the ball back and all of that. For me, that's the bad thing to do. See, in the heat of that moment, Arsenal just had 2 more minutes to go. What was going to happen? And when people talk about they restarting the game, they picked up the ball. The ball was picked from the nets by Arsenal. But what are you going to do? There's an Arsenal team that would have lost about 6 times. It was like what Manchester United is doing to Chelsea today.
Feel last time at City, a share Arsenal Emirates. Last season, say Arsenal who?
In America, until last
season. You draw this time around.
Just last season, and Arsenal the only last 2 seasons ago, and I said, man, boss it back to back. Even Liverpool, not me, Channel. So yes, on G League, all of those things, but sometimes we are fixated too much on the
winning.
Yeah, on not even the small wins, but then the trophy side of winning. This is it, yeah, GBB. So that we forget the small steps.
All right, so
but the league is not forgiving that. There's a progress.
It's okay. I think we need to truncate this. We need to truncate this conversation. But I have something on my mind. When's the last time Kudus scored a Premier League goal?
I think that was our first game.
The first game was
In the first game, did he score?
No. He had 2 assists.
Or the second game. But Minusa was this season.
No, last weekend he assisted.
He's not scored.
No, this season on Shea.
He's been assisting.
Assisting on
last week too, he assisted. I thought he scored, but he assisted.
So someone said they were auctioning the stools that Kudus sits on because it has not been in use for quite some time. That's on a lighter note. But I'm worried. Kudus is not getting in on the scoring act.
This weekend is what Spurs against?
They play against Wolves.
Away from home?
Home.
At home. But Mike, I think that Thomas Frank is doing something else to Kudus.
Yes.
That we're probably not paying attention to. I think he's making him more creative to setting up other guys. So I've not looked at the stats, but it looks as if Mohamed Kudus has created more goals.
And is that the Kudus that we want? That is my worry because we need to find that balance.
No, but Mike, but see, Louis de La Fuente in a couple of minutes ago in an interview was asked that Hansi Flick has criticized him of overusing Lamine Yamal. He said 2 things: that he's not heard that and he doesn't care. Thomas Frank will not care. If it's a Kudus that Ghana wants, Thomas Frank doesn't care. Thomas Frank wants a Kudus that he needs to create for Richarlison and the likes.
And see, even with that is what we want. Already, Kudus has that.
Yeah.
The mojo of scoring. They're moving in short spaces, creating.
Yeah.
But the one thing he was missing was he creating from the wide flank.
Yeah.
Crossing.
Yeah.
And right now, he's doing it. And we have been talking about that because as we have been saying that right now in football, you shouldn't be a specialized player for a specific position. Yeah. And right now he's doing that at the wide area. Yeah. And if
so the last time Kudus scored a goal was in May of this year. That was the last game of the season with West Ham. He's gone on to play a couple of games, both in friendlies and stuff. And the best is just an assist.
For assist.
Ghanaian, should we be worried that Kudus is not getting in on the scoring act? I'm quite concerned personally. So I don't know. But let's move to Spain. Is this the weekend that Barcelona catches up with Real Madrid? It is a Madrid derby. And then at the same time, Barca have a game against Real Sociedad. The Madrid derby. Can Alonso be stopped by Simeone?
I think this is the biggest test for
Where is the game taking place? Atletico plays at home, right?
No.
No.
Madrid is playing at home.
Really? No, I think Atletico are playing at home rather.
No, Real Madrid is playing at home.
Because
Atletico is playing at
Atletico
home.
is playing at home rather.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You let me confirm.
Let's go at home.
Atletico is playing at home. So will Simeone stop Alonso?
I think there's a big game for Xabi Alonso and a test for him. He has actually enjoyed a proper honeymoon period. This is the first big test I'm expecting to see how he's going to set up his team. You know, the Club World Cup, we saw Real Madrid against Juventus. We watched Real Madrid against Dortmund. I think the disgraceful match came against Paris Saint-Germain, where they were torn apart by Vitinha and co. But gradually, I think he's trying to understand the perfect balance for his midfield. You know, the constant figures in Valverde and Tchouaméni in that particular midfield role. Let's also understand that Simone is so bred to get the right balance for the team. Wakofa Alex Baina, top player for Villarreal, Oba Mfa. Wakosen Santiago Amada Munina de Omaba. Wakofa Cardoso from Real Betis. Omunina no shedanya the proper balance. And I think they are missing Rodrigo Di Paul. Mike, that guy, Obeka say be on Juma, but Juma be in Fiifi, the intensity, the energy, the passes or pass be boy and from say Timu too. You're not getting him. So this is going to be a test case for both coaches. Things say Simone Nanga say Pekwan so they restore lost glory be or to me. He's losing the patience of the Atletico Madrid supporters. Win this game and get back on track.
Akomeah free I swear.
And you know
the other part of their games. What do I mean by this? I say Chelsea, Manchester United. I say Kotoko has. These teams a free form, free players.
Free form.
Come to the sprint.
But the big problem part Atletico Madrid will part this season. I did acquire Diego Simone teams there. No more ability not to concede a lot of goals. Yeah. But they say Atletico Madrid game be a booby or concede.
Okay. But they are scoring more too.
They are scoring more, but they are coming to play against a Real Madrid team who are not also conceding a lot of goals. Real Madrid are conceding only 3 goals. I think we are on looking. Here's our part of Real Madrid. Alonso Ankasa set up in the team this and
Because now they are working harder.
They are working harder out of possession. We're setting the team now Ankasa says he's almost higher.
I'm saying a bit more about saying so when share team as I said they work I say this is the first.
But I don't agree with people that that's the first real test. No. Yes, it's a derby game. But and let's go Madrid in the test being a test being this season.
I think in recent times when Madrid have had to visit them,
yeah, it has been tough.
Yeah, very tough.
But they still get something. I mean, even the bad times and the Carlo, we're getting a
draw.
No,
but that's where they have been perfect from the start.
Yeah.
Would that not start against Atletico?
They will beat them.
But Mike, I think Alonso's Real Madrid will beat Atletico Madrid.
They will beat them.
I'm still not convinced with Atletico
Madrid. We see one thing here. Mbappe is on excellent form. One thing that is happening in all of that plays that we've not spoken about is that Vini is quietly in the dark.
Yeah, he's creeping in. Now he has 3 goals and 3 assists.
Yeah, he has 6 goal contribution. So Vini is also doing well. Franco Mastantuono is scoring. Other goaler is in good confidence. They've gotten Jude back. And again,
but if you watch Madrid, you are saying so.
Yeah, Vini is
because creeping. Mike, as a Real Madrid, you know, so almost first 11, only almost buy a careful, almost free bench so bad.
Quality actually.
Because the Bellingham free bench ba.
Who's the anything
I mean free bench ba.
Kamavinga
free bench ba.
Anything I may pay anything I may pay the Xabi Alonso because quality no hold that. And yet tactics giddy.
So fight for your spot.
Yeah, win for us.
And then Vini, prove that you belong.
Vini after the last game said it. Said, oh no. They are pressing more, and that's what's helping them to win. Mind you that if you look at this Atletico Madrid have played also another lower Madrid derby. Vallecano is a Madrid team.
Yeah.
So it's a small Madrid derby that they've played. And I'm share the Madrid derby change. And one more brain. 2-0
Mike said, you might so fan no intimate and show most of the. I made them choose some Madrid best show. But lose game where we are think Simeone.
So let's wrap up with this. Your predictions on Barca, Sociedad, Madrid derby.
I feel like Barca will drop points either.
That's a ball for you.
Yeah, Barca at home.
Barca will drop points. It's just the time we are shooting, and I don't know how to coin what I want to say. But Barca will drop points.
They'll drop points.
Yeah.
I think Barca will win. Real Madrid will win.
Barca will win. Real Madrid, I'll go for double chance Atletico Madrid.
Maybe by the time.
But if we can see them for go. But Barca game, they will win against us.
Maybe by the time this video goes out, Barca would have already dropped the points against Oviedo.
They
Barca
will
will
never
drop
drop
points.
the points against Oviedo.
Yeah,
All right,
somebody's
so-
shackling at the back.
All
Barca will
right,
drop
so
points.
this is what I think. I think that football will be played and will be exciting. So just watch it and then drop your comments in the comment section so that we'll be back to just respond to your feedback. Anything you require of us, definitely we would have to do it for you. There's the Four Post Podcast. My name is Michael Asare Boadu. Yeah, from Kiki Monte on my left, Michael Akomeah Demfi, extreme right, and then Fiifi Manfred beside me. Thank you very much, guys. We are out.
Tell him more than one.